We're in conversation today with Mr. Sunil Bohra, who's the Group CFO at UnoMinda. Mr. Bohra, thank you very much for taking out the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
To Autocar Professional.
Thank you.
I want to start off with you talking about the emerging trends in the component space. Given the transition towards electrification, software-defined vehicles, a lot of electronics coming into the vehicle. What are the emerging trends that you see from a component supply perspective?
So, Maggie, first of all, thanks for inviting us. And as you rightly mentioned, the trends which you spoke of, they are actually the real trends. So, be it in the EV space, be it in the personalized space, like we recently added a sunroof to our product profile, which was not there.
Right.
Now, sunroof also is more of an aspirational product, not that it adds any safety feature, but it's something people would like to.
Right.
I know people. I always get a question: do people need a sunroof in an Indian environment? But it's something. It's a aspiration that I should have a sunroof.
It's not a must-have. It's a good to have.
It's good to have, and the application is increasing. I think that's what customer wants. We have been working on a lot of ADAS-related products where you have something like your heads-up display, your sensors, controllers, RPAS. There are a lot of features we are working on ADAS. A lot of sensors, controllers are coming into play. The biggest theme, what you just spoke about, is the EV. Like that's the buzzword everybody is working on, but we have been silently working on it for last 5-6 years. We have been front runner in all the products related to EV for specifically two-wheeler and three-wheeler.
Okay.
I think we have unparalleled product profile in the country. Our kit value is almost 35,000-40,000 rupees per two-wheeler.
Okay.
For past few years, we have been also working very silently on four-wheeler. We recently announced a lot of products in four-wheeler. We have partnered with a technology provider for giving a complete EXL for EV, which is a huge kit value. We already got another product which is for a wall-mounted charger or EVSE. We already got a business for that from a customer, which should go in hopefully SOP in next 2 or 3 quarters maximum. So relating to EV, there is a lot of traction, and the biggest advantage for us from that, as you know, is our products, be it seats, lamps, horns, blow molding, infotainment, alloy wheel, they are agnostic. So for us, EV is more of an opportunity than a threat. So we are trying to see how we can capitalize the most on what the market wants. There is also a possibility of hybrid as we move forward. So there are a lot of things which can come, because when you talk of hybrid also, there are a lot of things which are common. So the same EV motor or reducer or a controller, they will go in hybrid as well. So from that perspective, it also insulates us to an extent that what if hybrid is more versus EV, pure EV. So there also I think it sort of helps us.
So do you believe that both these technologies are going to remain relevant from an India market perspective in the foreseeable future?
No, definitely. The biggest hurdle what we have seen, and I think we all read your media, etc., that still while government is focusing on putting infrastructure, as an end consumer, it's always in mind in terms of range anxiety, whatever you call. People are maybe today okay for a city driving, but you have to go highway, you look for chargers. Many times on a personal note, we hear that while there are chargers installed on highway, but there is no electricity. So there are challenges. So I'm sure for a good medium to long term, for specifically PV, which you would like to take on a highway, there both the technologies might coexist for quite some time. But if you talk of two-wheeler and three-wheeler, which is more city driving, there the penetration is expected to be faster. That's why we also have started working on a two-wheeler and three-wheeler first and PV later, because that's what our belief was, that this segment might see a little faster penetration than the other one. And we are seeing that today EV penetration in two-wheeler is more than 7%.
Right. And in the passenger vehicle space, I mean, what expectation do you have in terms of the EV penetration maybe by 2030?
We don't officially speak about this because, again, that's not in our hand. So what we speak is, what are we doing in terms of outperforming the industry? Look, the end volumes are not in our hand. And we don't have that magic cube to guess the projections for 2030. There are organizations who do there for daily living. I think I would go by them. And that's what we do when we do our own planning. We don't guesswork what the volume is going to be.
So the 30% penetration estimation which has been given by the government, you think that the industry should be more or less around that ballpark?
Very difficult to say. We all know that yesterday a lot of our customers have showcased the EV products. The industry is going towards it. Now it's at the end of it, it's all what customer wants. Yes, government is doing all its best possible in terms of incentivization, in terms of policies,
infrastructure,
etc. There is a lot of focus.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's the customer who decides the market.
Right. And if you talk about the safety solutions that you're developing, ADAS, RPAS, particularly ADAS, when do you see the inflection point coming in? Is it going to be voluntary offering from an OEM, or do you think regulations also are going to play a vital role in there?
No, regulations do play some role. Today we have shifted to the Bharat NCAP safety ratings.
Yeah.
Now, all these safety ratings, like 2 years back, 3 years back, we were talking of mandatory 6 airbags.
Yeah.
That is gone now. That is linked to safety rating.
Right.
It is left to the customer. What does he want?
Right.
So if you have highest airbags, you're successful in the crash test, etc., you get a 5-star rating or something like that. So that is something which will define what goes into vehicle. Number 2 is what also gets defined is what is the cost the customer is willing to pay, because there is no free lunch, right? Yeah. So everything comes at a cost. So what our endeavor is, how do we bring high technology at a low cost?
Right.
That is consistently our endeavor, so that it becomes more affordable. Right. If you think of basic sensors, which 10 years back used to be maybe in a most premium cars, today they are in the most basic cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that cycle of commoditization or bringing the cost down is actually getting shorter and shorter.
Okay.
As more adoption, more volumes, the cost will come down.
Right.
So that is our endeavor. How do we bring premium products at low cost or Indian cost?
Right. And when you say Indian cost, so then do you believe that UnoMinda as a tier 1 supplier will also be exploring multiple overseas markets as well for exporting these products?
No, we do. So we do have manufacturing plants in ASEAN, in Indonesia and Vietnam. In Europe, we have in Spain and Germany. And Americas, we have in Mexico and Colombia, we have a joint venture. So our endeavor is, while we have this presence in all these geographies, today we have been a small player in terms of number of businesses. Like in ASEAN, we are selling only maybe lights for two-wheelers and switches for two-wheelers.
Right.
Now what we are trying to do is put more products. We are like 25 plus businesses.
Right.
How do we put more products in the region? Now, towards that, maybe you would have followed that. Recently, the board has approved setting up of a new lighting for four-wheeler plant in Indonesia.
Okay.
So that is what we are trying to go the path, is in the region we are present, how do we put more and more products and work with the existing customers to improve our product offering.
Right. And give me a sense of your future readiness in terms of future technologies, beyond safety, beyond electrification. There's a lot of connectivity, a lot of digitalization of the cockpit itself, all those things. So are you preparing for those?
No, absolutely, Mayank. I would invite you to our stall, and you actually would see that what you are asking. We have a complete dashboard which integrates everything.
All the
switches, infotainments. We have a gesture control switches. We have got all the things you want. We have got a personalized cabin, what you call infotainment, lighting. You can have a privacy when you listen to your music. So you have speakers in your headrest. There's a lot of work which we are doing. Maybe if you come, we'll definitely like to show you.
Sure. And when you talk about the development of these products, so where do you stand in terms of your R&D investments today, and what strategy are you adopting when it comes to in-house product development?
No, so we have a lot of focus on R&D. In fact, our R&D expenditure, as we would have shared last time, is almost 3.5 to 4% of our total revenues.
Okay.
So we have significant impetus on R&D. We have got more than 1,200 engineers who are working on R&D and engineering. We have dedicated R&D centers where people are working only on future products.
Okay.
So we have multiple R&D centers. So few are independent and few are attached to the business. Which are attached to the business, they look for upgrading the product, new product in their own business, etc. But these independent setups, which are pure R&D, they look at futuristic products, what you just
trends
speak about.
In the market.
Yes.
Right. And within the competency area, are you also eyeing more M&As, more JVs, so that you're able to diversify your portfolio further?
So honestly, we disappoint people in a way that we are not a very M&A hungry company. We always see what Minda can add value. And that's how we approach M&A. We are not a top line hungry company. We believe in creating value. We believe in giving better product to the customer. We believe in innovating. Rather than doing an acquisition of something. Yes, if there is something which helps me deliver a better product to my customer, we'll look at it.
Okay.
Yes, from a joint venture perspective, we do look at things only from a perspective because it helps cut down go-to-market. Things which I am doing in-house will have cycle development time, then conceptualization, then you go to prototyping, then you go to POC, then you go into business. It's a very long tail. It's almost 5 to 7 years. If you can get into JV where your JV partner has got technology proven, it cuts that cycle to a few months.
Correct.
So wherever our customers have that patience or
So you'll
appetite to
prefer to do
wait.
it
We
in-house.
prefer to do in-house.
Right.
If the customers don't have that time for or a patience to get the product ready, they're obviously look for a partner.
Right. And also, in this evolving space of software and digitalization, AI, there's a lot of involvement and a lot of cutting edge work being done by some very young companies as well. Anything on the collaboration side, you're looking at collaborating with some startups maybe within India who are doing some really advanced work?
No, we are open to. We do look at ideas, but something has to happen. But on a similar note, what we have done is we have also recently opened a separate organization, the R&D organization dedicated to software development in Bangalore.
Okay.
So earlier we were having R&D in Pune, in Chennai, independent, in Spain, Germany, etc. But our software aspect was embedded into our own R&D.
Okay.
That to give that impetus and focus, we have moved it to a separate center completely.
Right. So you're doing software work not just for your own products, but also for your different partners that you're
not for partners, but for our own products and future products,
for future technologies. Right.
That's right.
And if you generally talk about the industry right now, we're seeing a lot of geopolitical challenges, a lot of headwinds as well. So from your perspective, what challenges do you see ahead of the industry if you talk about the near-term horizon, the next 2 to 3 year time frame?
So the near-term challenge is primarily the developed world where volumes are significantly impacted because of various factors.
Right.
We do have our operations in Europe. We do have a bit of exports from India to those regions. And there, because of the impact on volumes, obviously our volumes are also negatively impacted.
Right.
So that is what people are watching very carefully because nobody knows how long this phase will last.
Right.
So that is the only concerning thing as of now.
And if I were to get your outlook on the industry's growth, FY25, FY26, if I talk about the domestic market, how do you see the industry growth panning out?
So honestly, we don't second guess our customers, Mayank, because as I said, we never ever estimate our own numbers. We go by what our customers say. But what we see is the long-term potential of the industry. When we put plants, as you know, we are today constructing 13 new plants with an investment of more than 3,000 crores. When we put a plant, we look at long-term. 1 year to year, quarter to quarter, things might go up and down. We are in business, right? We are not in a flat or a secular growth environment. So from that perspective, when you see long-term growth, we see all our customers.
Right.
All our PV customers specifically are expanding. You talk, you know all the names, you have all the data. So that shows that optimism in the economy per se, that market will grow. Yes, short term there can be headwinds, but what is the long-term potential?
Right.
If you see from China perspective versus India, we are a population now even higher than China and growing population, people aspiring, etc. We are at 4.5 million PV country last year, whereas China is 27 million. We are nowhere near. Even this 4.5 has to go to 10, 11. It's a huge growth.
Huge headroom. Right. And what's going to be the growth roadmap for UnoMinda? I mean, you always aim to beat the industry average?
No, absolutely. So our endeavor is over medium to long term. Whatever industry grows, we grow at least 1.5 times. If you see the history, we have done much better than that.
Right.
And hopefully in future, we should be able to break that as well.
Right. On that note, Mr. Bohra, wish you all the best.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.